Well, g'day folks. Some of you will remember 2 weeks ago I made some cheddar cheese. I made about 1.5 kilos, something like that. And up to now it's been very successful. I've got it maturing now in the fridge at 50 degrees C. So, not 50 degrees Fahrenheit, sorry, 10 degrees C. That won't be ready now for 3 months. I'm planning at this stage of opening it on the 16th of September, but I can do it on the 16th of August if I want to. So what I might do there is cut it in half, repack and seal half, vacuum pack it, and put the date on and leave it for 6 months, because they say 6 to 12 months it's at its best. So I might do that, and after 3 months I'll see how good it is for eating, you know. But in the meantime I'm making another one, but another one with a difference. It's still a cheddar cheese. It's called a farmhouse cheddar cheese. I've made a couple of little alterations with it, because it's a different recipe, but very similar recipe, if you know what I mean. Similar process. The only difference in the process of it is this particular one doesn't do the cheddaring. That saves me 2 hours, because when you do the cheddaring to make it a traditional cheddar cheese, that's hard to say, it's a traditional cheddar cheese, you have to flip it. You cut the main block into 3, and you stack them, and you keep flipping them every 15 minutes for 2 hours. So you've got to do it 8 times. This one you don't have to do that, but they say it's still a cheddar cheese. But the difference I've found from research is the traditional cheddar cheese with cheddaring is you can keep it for up to 25 years or more. It matures, it doesn't go off, it gets harder and gets crystals on it and stuff like that. Whereas this new one that I'm trying, it's designed to eat a lot sooner. You can eat it within 6 to 8 weeks, so I believe. So, and it's a little bit of a softer cheddar, a bit more like you get in the shops, you know. Whereas I never knew that a traditional one is a little bit on the hard, crumbly side, but not as crumbly as say a Cheshire cheese, which is my favourite, by the way. I'm going to be making one of them very soon. Cheers, let's have a short slurp. It's coffee time. Anyway, without further ado, that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'll talk you through it as I go along. And at the moment, this recipe calls for 8 litres of milk. My other recipe called for 16 litres of milk. So I'm going to do 16 litres of milk, and I'm just going to double everything up. If I remember to double everything up, that's the hard bit. Because when you're reading a recipe, you tend not to double it sometimes. You might miss out. Oh, before I go, I still have a go at making my own beer. I haven't done any for a while, but I've got all the gear, and I do it from the grain. I don't use the beer kits. I make it right from scratch. I buy the grains and the barley and the wheat and all that sort of stuff. But you have to be, like cheese making, meticulous in your cleanliness with it, you know. Everything, the sanitizing of everything has to be, that's the most important part of making beer or cheese. And in my beer making stuff, I found this Starsan, what I used to sterilize everything with when I made when I made my beer. And not only beer, I've done wines and spirits and stuff. And you just put it in a, out of all that, there's quite a lot of stuff in there. You only use 1.5 mils to a litre of water. And I sterilised everything this morning. I got up early, but not only did I sterilise it, I boiled everything first, dried it off, and then sterilised it. So bacteria is, when you're making beer or wines or spirits and stuff, and cheese, is your worst enemy. And you'd be surprised in a kitchen, especially on dishcloths, how much bacteria is on them. Now, not only do I do all my utensils, I do my arms and all the worktops. All these have been done. So when I put something down now on a worktop, there's no problem. So what I'll show you now is my setup. There's my bain marie. That's where the milk's going to go in there. That's been sterilised. This is where all my tools now are sitting. They've all been boiled in boiling water for 15 minutes, and they've all been sterilised. The colander's been sterilised. All this stuff on my table's been sterilised. That's all been done. The only thing I've got to do is I've sterilised the cheese press, but I'll be doing that again, and I'll be sterilising these again before I use them. These are my cheese cloths. So there we are. It's hopefully it's a win-win situation, and it's even now I'm not starting too early. It's 11 o'clock because I don't want to finish too early, because you have to leave it overnight in the press for at least 8 to 12 hours. And I want to be flipping it at 10 o'clock for the last time, putting it in the press, and then it's okay. Then I go to bed then midnight. So if I do it round about that time, before I go to bed, by 8 o'clock in the morning, I can start making preparations then for drying it out. Now there's two methods of salting. I can either put the salt in when I chop the curds up to put it in the mould or the basket, whatever you want to call it, or when the cheese is made and been pressed, and tomorrow before I set it out for drying, I can leave it in a brine solution for 12 hours, flipping it after 6. There's a lot in this cheese making. Keeps me up there thinking, and I love it, you know. I love learning, you know. I always love learning. So I'll bring you back when I'm going to put the milk in there now. When I've supped this. And I hope you enjoy the video, and it's good to see you there. I hope you're all doing well out there. I had my birthday dinner party last night, and that was awesome. I had a couple of glasses of wine too, but I haven't got a hangover. Mind you, I didn't have many. Not at $16 a glass anyway. Okay, I'll bring you back soon. Cheers everyone. I'll have to find my remote for this camera. I'm sure I've got one somewhere. Okay, now got the milk in there. Got everything clean. I've got the thermometer in there. At the moment it is 50 degrees. I've got to get this up to, we're talking Fahrenheit there. All the recipes are usually in Fahrenheit, so I might stick to that. I do glance at the centigrade ones just to make sure, but I've got to get this to 90 degrees Fahrenheit for this stage. I think Later on we have to take it to over 100, but I'm not sure. I'll wait till I get there. But that's it now. It's a waiting game. It's going to take a while. Every now and again I've got the water about halfway up the pot, which is 3/4 of the way up the milk, and that's all I can do now. I've got to wait before I can add the rest of the stuff, you know. So I'll bring you back then. What I've done, and I've just got to remember now to double everything, because I've put the calcium chloride in, and I've put a little bit of colouring in, and I put the mesophilic culture in, and we've had to wait 45 minutes for that culture to grow, right? Which I hope it's done. I've got the water now at 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm about to add the rennet. Now I can stir this for less than 1 minute really, because then once you put this rennet in, it starts to firm up straight away. So you get less than a minute really. They say a minute, but I do it less than a minute, just to make sure. And then you've got to stir it well. Make sure it gets everywhere. Up and down stirring, not round or being too rough with it. You just up and down, up and down. Then you do the bottom, make sure that comes up to the top and the top goes down to the bottom. Now it's still at 90 degrees, been like that. I've turned the heat off. Oh, good. Half an hour ago or more. So we put the lid on. Now we can't move this now. I'll take the thermometer out. Make sure we clean these, and then I'll sterilise them again, because I'll need the thermometer again, and I'll probably need the spoon again. But we'll just give them a wash for now. Right then, I'll bring you back. I got this before I go. I'll just show it you. I got this book. It's a well-known, well, in the cheese making circles, it's a well-known lady by Ricky Carroll, on home cheese making. It's got quite a few recipes in there. It's got the traditional recipe in, and it's got this farmhouse cheddar recipe in, and that's the recipe I'm using. Now I've got to wait 45 minutes now for the rennet to thicken the curds. Then I cut the curds. Then I've got to wait for 10 minutes to let what they call the curds heal, because they're very, very delicate when you first cut them, and if you're not careful you can make it into a mush. So leaving it for 10 minutes to let the curds heal makes it a bit stronger for you when you've got to start stirring it, because then I've got to bring the temperature up to 100 degrees C, which is only another 10 degrees. That won't take long, but you've got to do it slowly. And then I've got to do that for 30 minutes. Well, on the other one I had to do it for an hour. And then I've got to let it sit for 5 minutes. Then I've got to pour the curds into a cheesecloth in a lined colander, which I've got. I had to get a special colander, mine was too small. Anyway, folks, I got my hat on. I had to go and get the milk this morning because, say, the fresher you get the milk, the better. It's probably yesterday's milk anyway, but who knows? They might have had a delivery. So I went and got it. Well, I had nowhere else to put it anyway, so I had to get it this morning. But fridges are full. It was shopping day yesterday. So anyway, while I was in Woolies, I wanted to get a hairnet, and I bloody forgot. I'm meticulous with the sanitisation of my equipment and myself. I don't touch it. Every time I go to touch something, I sanitise my hands with that sanitiser. You have to, because there's a lot of money tied up there. Well, there's $30 worth of milk, $27.50 or something, plus all the other bits and pieces, which only add up to a couple of dollars. But by the time you've invested your time, you don't want to do all that and then have to throw it away. You know what I mean? Because you've been a bit slack. So I'm meticulous with it. So anybody who comes round and wants to try my cheese, you're welcome. But you'll know that it's been made under the strictest sanitary conditions you could possibly have. And that's how I work, you know. I get my son to check whether there's any hairs on my shoulder and loose hairs anywhere, and he did that this morning. We did that outside, and I scrubbed the nails like that, and I keep sanitised, and I sanitise my arms all the way up to my elbow. And a lot of people don't use a spoon to stir. Do you know why? I don't know whether I want to do this. I just heard something, a motor going, but I don't know what it was because I got nothing on it. Anyway, what was I saying? It's there again. Oh well, I don't know. I can hear a motor going. Anyway, I got sidetracked then. I'll think about it. I'm about to cut the curds. So I'll ring you back when I get to the next stage, when I start cutting the curds, to see if we get what they call a clean break. I'll show you how I do that, if I can. I get my tool out of it to do it with. There it is. It's been sterilised. That's my curd cutter. I've got a bigger one coming. This is a bit small for some of these big pots. So what I do is I make a line, then go in again. Oh, what a great break. See the break there? Can you see it? That is ready for chopping up. Now we've got to do it in 1/2 inch cubes.
He's the one responsible for this fantastic produce. First morning in the region. Still a job out there. You guys are doing Oh my God! As I head inland.
Right. Now we go across this way. We want them reasonably small cubes because it is on the harder side of cheese, and even though this one's not quite as firm a cheese as the traditional one. It's still a firm cheese. Now we've got to try and do it horizontally, starting at the top and going down a bit each time. So now we do it this side. Now, I'm going to use this rubber type spatula spoon. This one, because it's got a long handle. Now I'm only just going to disturb the spoon, the curds, sorry. I'm just going to disturb them, and then I'm going to let them rest so they can what they call heal. And we'll let that heal for 10 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes actually. We'll do it for 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5's okay. What's it saying there? Place in hot water. Oh, it doesn't say to rest it, but most of them do. Anyway, we'll rest that for 5 minutes then. Place the pot in a sink full of hot water. Well, I've got it in a bain-marie, and then we've got to increase the temperature to 100, and very slowly for half an hour. Stirring. Not as much stirring on this one as there was on that last one. So we'll
the earth under my feet, the wind loud and alive, the sound of the sea.
Be alright if I turned it on, wouldn't it? Okay, I'll bring you back when we get to that stage and we start stirring. Okay, time to start stirring, and I've got to turn the heat on, and I've got to put my thermometer in so I can monitor. Whoa. Come on. Right. Now we'll go. We'll go 145. I've got to do this slowly.
Jesus.
But it's still at 90. Can you believe that? It's still at 90 and I haven't had the heat going for ages.
Of course, originally I found for the feathers.
Yeah, right.
But now, predominantly, it's making a good, beautiful.
The wind, you didn't obviously eat that.
You can, but all your prime cuts are going to be on your thigh.
So all the thigh there.
Yeah, but that's a lot of your...
One big one there, I'll cut
A
it.
lot of your fillets are in the back.
Another one there.
So that's all the 10.
All these that come up from the bottom where you couldn't quite get,
Surprisingly,
you have to
is red.
cut them if they're too big.
Really healthy alternative.
Because we want a fairly firm cheese. We don't want, it's not going to be as hard as a traditional
Not quite as easy as you think.
cheddar, but there's another one.
So also what you do, obviously, so just steady. That was very gentle. So this whole thing like that.
And I'm not really pushing down on the way.
No, don't you worry, let's do a whole breeding.
Don't move, buddy. Please don't move.
155.
Yeah.
Right.
You are a big bird. Back to Hassan, the club of gold.
Sounds very good to me.
Now I'll bring you back when it's time to transfer it into the colander and the cheesecloth. This is the quick part. The other one used to take hours. because you had to stir it for at least an hour and 3/4. This you only have to stir for 30 minutes, and once every 3 minutes, just to stop them, what they call the curds from matting and get into a lump. So every 3 minutes I'll give it a bit of a stir for the next half an hour. This is the last stir, and I'll bring it back then. 3 minutes time, I've got to give it a 5-minute rest for everything to settle. And that's how the curds look at the moment. Like that. Only they've gone really tiny, which is what you want, because that's a lot of the whey coming out, and that will give you a drier cheese, and it'll mature for a longer period of time. So that last one will mature for the next 25 years or more, if you can go that long without using it, of course. Now I've reached my temperature. I'm going to turn that off. That's it. It's 100 degrees, and it said do it slowly, and we're down to the last 3 minutes. So I'll bring you back when I'm ready to transfer it into the colander. I'm transferring now the curds to this cheesecloth.
No fee, no nonsense.
When enough is enough, we're lucky to draw the line. Start by calling 13 11 99.
Wow, there's a lot of curds. I think we're going to get a bigger yield this time than we did last time. With the look of it.
Getting in the middle of your relationship. Or even infiltrating your child's brain. Don't let them impact anyone. Be aware. Visit Gamble for information.
At Australia Post, we're delivering for every day. For the next business. Big, small,
I've got to let this drain then for an hour. And wow. What I might do, I might attempt I've still not got it all out yet, but I just want to get rid of this. I should put that in the garden, but it's raining, so I ain't going out. I can go down the sink this time. Better still, I could make some mozzarella and stuff like that, but I don't want to do that. Not this time. I got too much to do. Right, now
Do you know what you do?
See if we can.
Wishing to bathe themselves in public glory are first.
I clip these to keep the cheesecloth in one spot. Oh, geez, that's heavy.
I'm very competitive, but I'm just a duck. I just go over and get my problems. Poker face. Ah, not real poker face. Serious, are they?
It's unbelievable. Maybe I should have done 8 litres. My hands are clean, they're sterilised, sanitised.
Next up for Kelly and her husband Chris, a man with a mind full of mesmerising ideas.
Now,
Kelly's the more practical.
like that. And we'll get rid of this. Another half a tin. It's a shame wasting all that way, but I usually put it on the garden. It's great for your plants and your grass. Now, what they tell me to do is get the corners and tie a knot. I hope we can get the knots undone. Now, what I have to do now, take it out of the colander and I got to hang it. For an hour. And
you have a new email.
I will bring you back at the next stage. I'm going to clean this pan out now down here with the water from the Bain Marie, and then I'll sterilise them all, and that is dripping out nicely. That's what I had to do. I've never done it this way before. Hang it in there for it to drip, and there's a fair bit dripped out. So now I've got to take this over to this what do you call it? Bench top. I've got to break it up and I've got to put some salt in it. But I've got to remember I've got a double salt in. So, I was wondering whether I get this undone. Looks like it's pretty easy. Now I've got to break this up with my fingers, and I've just disinfected my hands with the sanitizer. But it's a food sanitizer, it's not the ones that we use for COVID, by the way. It's a special one. Oh, look at that. Hey? Now I've got to break this up. Doesn't say how big, but it smells all right. I've got to salt it. I've got to put 4 tablespoons of salt in, and that'll get make it more drier and get more whey out. But it won't be that salty. Cheese has to have salt, so I believe. And I'm not a great salt lover. If I taste salt in food, I think it's over salted. I believe salt can enhance food, but I don't want to taste the salt. That tasting the salt doesn't enhance it to me. It makes it taste salty. And I think some people over salt food. I don't. I never have. Because I'm not, like I say, I'm not a great lover of salt. I never have been. These curds are still warm. They've got to be reasonably warm too, because it doesn't knit very well if you when you press it. This is going in the press very shortly. I've got to press it at 10 pounds for 10 minutes, and then I've got to do 20 pounds for 10 minutes, and then I've got to do 50 pounds for 12 hours. So this is a lot of curds here. Have a go at it. We should be able to eat this within a couple of months, 6 or 8 weeks, so they say. But I will go into that and find out. Oh, at least 1 month. It says on the thing. That's what I've just been looking at. You can eat it within a month, but I'm not going to do that. I think I like a little bit of flavour in my cheese. Now, I asked myself a question. Why did I do 16 litres of milk when the recipe called for 8 litres? And the simple answer I came up with myself was it takes the same amount of time and effort to do 16 litres as it does 8 litres. And because it's the type of cheese that will ripen and you can actually get better with age and age it, I thought, why the hell not? Now, that's that part done. Now, I've got to put my net, or my, what do you call it? Now I'm gonna have to salt it first. 4 tablespoons. God, I hate these packets. One. 2. I'll do 2, give it a bit of a mix, and then I'll do the other 2. I don't want it clumping up with the, do well if I keep it. All this has been sanitised, by the way, every bit, even my chopping boards, wherever the cheese is going to be in contact with. Now, the last 2. Might seem a lot of salt, this, but when you brine it, you got about 1.5 kilos of salt in the brine to make the brine. I'm going to have a go at doing that though. I haven't done a brining yet, and I was going to do it with this, but I thought no, for the first time I've done this recipe, I'll follow the recipe. And that's how I work. This lady who put this recipe up, she's a cheese guru sort of thing, right? And everybody says how good she is. Another. I had a bit of a worry last time I made a cheese whether it was all going to fit. This is a different mould than I used last time. This is a bit bigger one, and I'm going to get a bigger one still just in case. What I might have to do is press it and then put it in the press, and then when it goes down, there's still a lot of moisture in it. We might get this, you know, we might. It's only another handful and a bit. I think we might be able to do this. Right, this is my new press. I'm going to have to keep coming as it shrinks. I keeping the pressure up for the next 10 minutes, I think. Now, this is what you do. Sorry about that, I meant to show you. Put it in there. Right, there we go. Now this, each one of these, when you got the 2 springs on, is £10. When you've only got one spring in the middle, it's £5. So we want £10. Now I've got to
Speaking of which,
They couldn't sing, they couldn't play it. That's what made it amazing. But in a horrendous way.
They didn't agree to sing with the whip. It was just in case.
It was probably the worst of the frequencies. Competition-wise, I think we're in with a really good chance here.
there's a lot of whey coming out.
Give it a good shot.
Started a little bit disappointing. May was okay. We did it a little bit better.
So we're gonna go Michelle and Laura after
very often dinner has a person, so we're going to score Laura and Michelle.
Let's see.
I did an ingenious idea this morning. I'll show you in a minute. This part here, I cut a lip in, so now it can all drain out into the sink.
I feel that's one. And I think the policy's probably
Put that up there like that, get that out of the way so it can see it needs
Last night Emma and Rob seemed to be talking about food, locally sourced food. They did put
right. Well, we'll see how that goes. I'll set my timer for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 10. Right, that'll be in there for 10 minutes. I'll clean up here and I'll bring you back when I turn it over. Dry my hands. Clean this mess up. I'm going to have a try of that. It's very delicate at this stage. We've got to flip it over if I can, the best way I can. Nice texture. Okay. Without it breaking up. And that's not bad after 10 minutes. That's not too bad after 10 minutes. I'm quite happy with that. Now we've got to do it for another 10 minutes. Put it back in here. Now it's upside down. Now what we have to do now is stretch the cloth so there's no creases.
After whipping up a red wine Jew, Rob checked his feet.
While we're here, I'll show you what I did with this. I put that lip on so all drains out into the sink and I don't have to have it in a container. So, bit of a smart aleck, aren't I? Yeah, I know.
I agree. So what do you think is better surprise? Lorenzo, your super
Put that to the back this time. They call that a follower that I'm putting on now. What I do, I just get it till it starts to bite.
even the smell sometimes you're like, oh, actually it's like the chips are ready. The taste brings the steak was just a little bit too rare.
and we put that in.
I picked career at sea and I worked on cruise ships for 20 years.
We absolutely love cruises, don't we? Yeah. Our honeymoon was on a cruise, and you know, on a cruise, everyone
Yeah.
just next to each other. So this guy just came out with, so what's the deal with you two? Is it mother, daughter?
Just clean the hair. And I'll bring you back in 10 minutes.
There we go.
And we'll flip it for the last time tonight now, but it's still a little bit fragile. It's only been maximum 20 pounds. God, it's heavy. There'll be a few kilos there. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go and do it again before I do the 12 hours. I might go to 30 pounds and leave it on for a couple of hours, I think. You've got to do this, get all the wrinkles out, otherwise you get wrinkly cheese. And I don't want wrinkly cheese. I'm going away from the book this time.
Not so bad of artichoke, but I did really was this the Parmesan? This is really, really nice. It's great. Love it.
Feeling good, feeling positive. There was quite a lot of positive comments.
The courgette rolls, I actually love them. And the rest of it, I'm not the biggest fan.
Still a lot of way in there. I think going from 20 to 50 is a little bit too much. I'm going to go to 30. 10, 20, 30. And then we'll go to 50 and we'll leave it for 12 hours. But I'm going to leave this for a few hours.
Yeah, it came out a little bit the wrong way about what I said about it.
In fact, I might leave this
I was just surprised.
till I go to bed tonight. 10, 20, 30.
They remind me of my family, they remind me of my friends, they remind me of homelands, they remind me of the woods, of the mountains.
Because I'm going to have to keep, as the whey comes out, I'm going to have to keep, turning the press, make the weights down, making it heavy, whatever it is, making it more, putting more weight on it. And I'll get the English right very soon. Right, I'll bring you back then when we're ready. That's good, that. I left it on for 2 hours. So I'm going to flip it now and do it at, I left it on for 2 hours at 30 pounds. Now I'm going to do it for 50 pounds for till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning or thereabouts. It's knitted a lot better now. It's a lot more. Still a lot of moisture in it, but it's workable, and it's not breaking. It's not giving me the sensation of it breaking up in my hands. So we're on a winner, methinks. It's a fair slab. Right, now for the last time we'll straighten this out. The follower on top. I'm really happy with this. Really happy with the cheese press. It's quite good. It's doing everything it should do, and it's. I had a look at a few before I decided on this one, and some of them I wasn't too happy with. They were very difficult to use by the look of it. This isn't easy, but it's a lot easier than the others. Than a lot of the others. But this is what we've got now. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We've got to go to that one. Blimey. It's a fair way down. That's got to be a big press. Ten, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now we're getting somewhere. Squeeze that out. There we go. And that can stay there now till 8 o'clock in the morning. And hopefully, I think it'll be like they said it was going to be, a soft cheese. I could feel it then. It's a lot more spongy than the last one was. The other one was a lot harder. I wouldn't say harder, I'd say firmer. So okay, that's about it for today, folks. I don't have to do it before I go to bed. That's going to take me right through now to 8 o'clock in the morning. I usually get up between, well, I was up at the last few days, I've been up at 6 o'clock. Occasionally I sleep till 7, but very well, I don't ever remember sleeping after 7 o'clock. So it's one of them things. Right, everything's nice and clean, and we shall see how we go in the morning, and I'll record it as I do it and let you see what it looks like. Then we've got to put it for 2 to 4 days for in air drying, like I did the last one. So, and then I can pack it, and then I can eat it within 4 weeks. Apparently, I've just been reading up on it, but I'm going to leave it for 8 weeks. They reckon it's better after 8 weeks. So the other one's 6. They say 3 to 6 months, but they said 6 months is the better time, and upwards. So six months for the other one, for the traditional cheddar, and that goes then into years. They reckon 12 months is really good, but I'm not into the really strong, sharp cheeses, so the 6 months would probably be my limit. But I will try it. When I do one later, I'll cut it in half, and I'll keep one half for 12 months and see if I like it. If I do, well, I'll do it again for 12 months. But if I don't, I won't go that far. So that's how I work, anyway. Not everybody will like the type of cheese I like or the way I like it. I know a lot of people who like it really, really strong. If they don't like my cheese whatsoever, you know. So it's they have no taste in that. It's to me, but not to them, and everyone to his own. And I say, great, if that's the way you like it, you eat it that way. That's your prerogative. You know, it's a free country. Oh, well, it was. Okay, I'll bring you back in the morning. Ta-da. Well, good morning, folks. It's 12 minutes past 7 this morning. I'm going to undo this cheese for the very last time, then we're going to put it down for air drying. So keep my fingers crossed now to see if it's actually knitted together. It's looking okay, but we shall soon find out. Here we go. Keep your fingers crossed, folks. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Now, I'm going to air dry it on here, on these mats. On these mats there. They're sushi mats. I've got a tray and a rack there for it if there's any moisture. It's damp, I can feel it, it's very damp. And we'll put that on another one of them there like that. And then I shall cover it with one of these food covers, like I did last time. It's ideal. These are, I only use these for the cheese, and that is how it'll stay there for 3 to 4 days, so they tell me. Maybe longer if I think it needs it, but I think 3 to 4 days is usually about the standard. And I'll bring you back, and then we'll be able to pack it. I'm going to vacuum pack it, sorry if you hear the noise in the background. That's my coffee urn. Getting ready for a cup of coffee, then I'm going to get barrel up. This has had 13 and a quarter hours. Should have been 12, but I've had things to do. And there's a little bit of a window there that you can use. There's no exact science for how long. I suppose traditionalists would differ with that, but a lot of people that I've seen on the internet said, don't worry if you're an hour over or an hour early, it's only that timing is only a rough idea, and you will have to make the decision when you unpack it whether you leave it in there. And I think that's okay, it's ready to come out. It's looks pretty damn good to me. Not bad, is it? I didn't put as much colour in this time. Last time it told me to put half a teaspoon of the dye in. This time it was round about just a bit better than a 1/16 of a teaspoon. Maybe close between a 1/16 and a quarter. I did have a quarter of a teaspoon mixed out, but I didn't put it all in because I didn't want it to go that orange colour. I wanted to just give it a creamy off-white colour like you buy in the shop, you know. Anyway, we'll see what happens in 3 or 4 days, and I'll keep it. You just keep it at room temperature. And then I'm planning then to do another cheddar cheese like I did my last one, a traditional one where you actually do the cheddaring, but this time I'm using a different recipe that has different quantities of the culture. They told me to put a teaspoonful of culture in last time, whereas this time I'm only going to go half a teaspoon like I did with this one. This has only had half a teaspoon of culture. The last one had a whole teaspoon, and I've done the same quantity. Before I go, I'm going to weigh it. I'll just move this over to put the scale down. Right, let's have a look. It's quite heavy. 2.103 kilos. That's not bad, 2 kilos of cheese. Now, what I will do with this, when it's ready, this is going to be ready within 4 weeks to eat, but I'm going to leave it for 8 weeks. They say if you leave it for 8 weeks, it gets a lot better, but it can be eaten within 4 weeks. Some say 6 weeks, but I'm going to leave it for 8 weeks. It's still better than 12 weeks or 16 weeks like the other one's going to be. So, and then what I'll do, I'll cut it in half. I'll repack half, and I'll put that down then for another 2 or 3 months, and we'll eat half. So. That's it for now, folks. I'll bring you back in a couple of days. Oh, 3 or 4 days.
Oh, g'day,
Okay,
folks.
this is the day of vacuum sealing my cheese I made on Saturday the 1st of June. Today is Wednesday the 5th of June, and I'm about to get that cheese out of there, and I'll put it on the board, and then I've got to wipe it, make sure there's no moisture on it. There we go, there we are. We'll start underneath. Just wipe it with a paper towel, make sure there's no moisture on it. I don't want it to get mould on it, but it's getting a rind on now, and you can feel the rind getting firmer. This is the first time I've made this cheese with this recipe. I've done one cheese before, the traditional recipe, and it's a little bit different to this. This is going to be ready to eat within a month, but I'm going to leave it 2 months because I want to get some flavour to it. It certainly smells good. It smells really, really, really good. As you can see, there's some white building up on the outside of the rind, and that's a good sign. I just don't want any moisture in it. I want it inside. I can feel there's moisture inside, but I don't want it on the outside because I don't want it to I should have moved both those over. I've sterilised everything. I sterilised the board. I sterilised my hands with this, what they call Star San. It's what I use when I'm brewing my wines and beers. It's very food safe. A lot use vinegar, and I've used it on my last one. I wasn't happy with it. I prefer that, so I've got a load of that stuff, so I'm going to use that from now on. Now, I've just sealed my bag. I've done 2 seals. I used to do 1, but I found, like a lot of other people, one isn't strong enough. So I always do 2, and when I seal this, I shall do that also. Now, it's a matter of put the cheese in. Actually, what I should do is write on the bag first, so I've got a flat surface. I'll just get my pen. Right. What is it? Well, it's a farmhouse cheese. Cheddar. It was made on Saturday, the 1st of the 5th, 24. It was air dried for 5 days, and it's vacuum sealed on the 5th of the 5th, 24, and ready on 5th of the 6th, sorry, what am I doing the 5th? Saturday 5th of the 6th, sorry guys, I've got May on my brain. There's so much happens in my family in May. All the birthdays, I got 2 cousins overseas and birthdays. I got my dad's birthday, my daughter's birthday, my daughter's husband, my son-in-law, his birthday's in May. My wedding anniversary's in May, so I've got May on the brain. So it's ready on the 5th June, 5th of the 6th, 5th of the 8th, 24. Right, now we got somewhere. Silly Billy, aren't I? Yeah, that's what I've done. I put all the information on there that I need. We shall now put the cheese in there. Wow, it only just fits. How lucky was that? Now this is the critical part. You've got to get that pretty flat. Here's hoping this will go in the fridge, in my wine fridge. There's something not right there, so
You have a new email.
we'll cancel that and we'll start again. Obviously there's something not quite right there. We'll try it again. Oh, that's better. Not going over to seal. I don't know why. Let's see if we can do any better by turning it over.
Can you believe that? How random is that?
this doesn't work, I'll have to get the other one out. This is a Sunbeam, it's a load of crap, to be honest. I have nothing but trouble with it. See, it should be sealing by now. So what we'll do, I'll call you back in a bit when I've sorted the other one out. Okay, back again. This is the oldie one. Let's see if this does any better. Oh yeah. There we go, sealing. Can you believe it? A cheap oldie one, and yet that Sunburst one was 3 times or 4 times the price, and it's a load of crap. Right, now what we do now, we'll give it another seal. And we've got a double seal on that. And there it is. That will go in now for 2 months. What I might do, I might even cut into it after a month. Cut half and redo the other half and see what the difference is after a month or 2 months. I think that might be a good idea. So I haven't made my mind up on that yet, but I will. It's looking a good colour too. It's not too orange. It's like a yellow, dark yellowy colour. It should be a little bit more wide in the middle though than that, but I can feel it's very soft. So I'll put that in the fridge, and that's it, folks. We'll zoom back out, and we'll wrap this up. Well, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're all well out there. It's freezing cold here today. My hands now are like ice. Mind you, I don't mind the cold. I'm from England, so I'm used to the cold. But it's raining now. We've had some rain this year. Considering the experts said dams would never fill up again. They got that right, didn't they? We've got dams overflowing. Although I believe South Australia are in a bit of trouble. With they're having a bit of a drought down there. They want the rain that we're getting. Australia, it's a beautiful big country. It's very diverse. Wherever you go, you know, the tropics, we go to the snowies. We've got bigger snowfields here. They tell me that is Switzerland in area, you know. We don't have it as long as Switzerland, obviously, but the season. But we have a really good snow season, and you can go from that to the tropics in a day if you get the plane, you know. But it's a wonderful place. Anyway, don't forget, if you enjoyed the video or you want to make a comment, leave me a like, at least the minimum. Give me a like, because that does something to the algorithm that makes the video spread around. The more people that like it, the further it spreads, and the bigger it spreads. Just to let other people see the video who might want to watch it, who are interested in this sort of thing. Not everybody's interested in cheese making, I understand that. But I do a lot of other videos besides this. You know, I've done quite a few different things on my videos, and I'll keep doing that. But leave a comment and leave a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you already haven't subscribed to my channel. We have a bit of fun on here. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm trying to think now. I don't know, but I know I've got another couple of cheeses to make before I start making cheese. But hopefully, in between that, there'll be some cooking videos. But I don't know. I'm just going to make some chips tonight, and I don't even know what meat I'm going to put with it. We had pancakes last night, so I might have a bit of chicken or something like that. See what happens. I'll have to have a look through the fridge, see what's going. I know what I like, but I'm not sure whether my son would like it. I like the Chinese curry and chips. No rice, just Chinese curry with chips. Chinese beef curry with chips. That's one of my favourites. But I'll have to give him a ring and see whether he'll be in it, because it's the easiest meal to make. Like I say, if you make cheese, or you know, I'm not an expert cheese maker by any means. If you think I could do something better, let me know. If you do cheese or make cheese, let me know how you make it. And if you've got a suggestion of a cheese that you might like. The only thing I won't make is blue cheeses, because none of the family like it. It would never get eaten in this house. I like most of the other cheeses. I like brie and camembert, and I've got recipes for that. But I have a problem personally with brie and camembert. I don't like eating the mouldy outside of it. You know, the mould that's on it. A lot eat it. So it's like a white mould. That's if it is a mould. But I'm not partial to eating that. So when I get a brie or a camembert, I cut the rind off, and it wastes half of it. So I don't buy it anymore. But I love the cheese that's inside. I might even consider making something like that, a cream cheese, later on. But I've got 2 more cheeses to do before I get there, or 2 or 3. I'd like to make a Welsh Caerphilly. That looks a nice creamy cheese. Not that I've ever had it, but I'm only going off looks of what I've seen on the internet. Anyway, I'll keep this video a bit short today. It's freezing cold. I'm going to get under a blanket for half an hour before I have to start making tea. I've left Beryl in the lounge watching TV, but she doesn't watch TV much. But I put the TV on for her. But any minute now, it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock comes, 5 o'clock, she starts wandering around, and it's causing me a lot of headaches, that does. Because it's usually the time I'm trying to start tea, and then I'm worried about what she's getting up to, you know. She walks around the house and falls over and bumps into things and puts things of mine away, and I go looking for them, I can't find them, you know. It takes me a day to find them. Anyway, that's life in this house. I have to put up with that. There's nothing much I can do about that. Okay, folks, I'll say goodbye, cheerio, au revoir, bye bye, see you later, and the old pommy one. Ta-ra! Thanks for watching. Thank you.